North Carolina is chock full of college football teams, big-time talent on the field and in the coaching box. But when you talk about a program that is truly on the rise, you get to look no further than Boiling Springs and Gardner-Webb. And joining us now is the head coach of the Runnin Bulldogs, Tre Lamb. And Coach, how exciting is it to be going back to the playoffs with the Gardner-Webb Runnin Bulldogs?
Yeah, I think it's big for us. Backing up last year, we had, a record-breaking year, fantastic quarterback, senior wide receiver that's playing for the Patriots. Had a really good football team. We won 7 games, had a winning season for the first time in a long time, first ever playoff appearance. But I really didn't want to be a flash in the pan. I wanted to be able to back this up again with a successful year. We had a lot of guys coming back on defense, had to replace a few guys at quarterback, receiver, offensively. But I knew we'd have a good team. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, playing East Carolina, App State. Elon is not an easy stretch there in the state of North Carolina. And lucky enough to beat Elon and lose to App State and East Carolina. Lost a conference game in there. So we start the year 2-3. Lose our starting quarterback to injury. And we get a third-team quarterback that comes in and he's set the world on fire. And he's a true freshman, and that's been the biggest difference. We've played better on defense. We've won 5 straight. We've got the turnover margin flipped a little bit back in our favor, and I can't wait to play Mercer on Saturday.
Now, you were a prolific quarterback at Tennessee Tech. Your father, Hal, a great high school football coach in Georgia. Your uncle, Bobby, a great college football coach at both Mercer, irony right there, and then also at Furman. But now here it is, your opportunity. You're this prolific passer as a player, and now you have to guide a third-string quarterback to lead a team to the playoffs. How does that work?
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been easy. I think it's probably been one of my better coaching jobs. I've only been in, I'm only 34 years old, so this is my 10th year in college coaching. But this has certainly been the hardest job I've had offensively. I think we're young, and we got a true freshman quarterback that got here in July and really hadn't had many reps. So protecting him, calling the game safely for him, but also taking enough chances to score the ball. But I tell you, our defense has really played well. And there's a lot of seniors on that side of the ball that has given us a great chance, knowing we don't have to score 50 points a game. If we score 30, every game we scored 30 in this year, we've won. We're 7-0 when we score 30 points. So that's kind of the threshold we need to get to and find a way to score 30 points this Saturday. But very proud of the way our offense has responded here down the stretch as well.
We're talking to Tre Lamb. He's the head coach of the Runnin Bulldogs of Gardner-Webb. They're in the FCS playoffs this weekend at Mercer, 3 o'clock. But let's go back to that start. As you said, loss against App State, win against Elon, then back-to-back losses against Tennessee State and East Carolina. But then after that really crushing loss, 41-14 against Austin Peay, what happened? What was the thing that really transformed this team? What moment can you point to that was the tipping point for Gardner-Webb to go up instead of taking what a lot of teams would do at that point and taking the easy road down?
Well, we had several seniors just step up and say, hey, look, guys, our backs are against the wall at this point. We have no choice. Every game's a playoff game from here on out. We need to win the rest of them to have a chance to get in the playoffs. And we did that. I'll tell you that scheduling has everything to do with college football as well. Elon's a really good football team. Austin Peay's a really good football team. We split those, okay? And our true freshman got his first start against Austin Peay at their place. It's a tough place to go play. They're really good. They've won 9 straight at Austin Peay, so that's a good program. Now, App State and East Carolina, you're going to beat those guys 1 out of every 50 tries. That's just how it is from a talent deficiency, from a resource deficiency. Now, we believe we can do that. We played App down to the wire. We had a lead there late in the third quarter, had 2 fourth-quarter turnovers that kind of got away from us, but we still played well. I knew we had a good team after that day. After we played them, I was like, okay, guys, we can win a bunch of games with this group. So just stay in the course. I think the seniors, stood up in a couple meetings and said, this BS has got to stop. The mistakes have got to stop. You can't have any more my bads. Our back's against the wall, and it's a playoff game the rest of the year.
That's an exciting thing to watch as a coach. And as you're going through this, not only with your own staff, but your team, where do you look for counsel? Who is still mentoring you as a 34-year-old head coach at Gardner-Webb?
My granddad, coached at the University of Georgia for a while. He was a high school retired coach. I call him a lot. He's 88 years old. My dad obviously was very successful. My uncle Bobby is very successful. I played for Watson Brown, Mac Brown's older brother, at Tennessee Tech. So Watson still talks to me once a week, and we communicate. So I lean on a lot of people, and I got a lot of friends in coaching, and I got a great coaching staff. I trust those guys to do their job. I don't micromanage them. I coach the quarterbacks. I call the plays, and I'm the head coach. So I can't be in every meeting, and I can't be in every room. They got to be able to do their job and push the message that I want through the team.
Is that something that you think is sustainable as a coach as you grow in the profession? Because so many coaches, when they're at different parts of their maturation, are doing all that you're doing, but at some point they have to become a CEO. Is that a mandate, do you feel, or is it something that somebody can still be, as Steve Spurrier would call it, being a ball coach?
Yeah, I think it depends on where you're at. I think if you're a place that's absolutely resourced and you can go pay an offensive coordinator that can do a better job than you do it. If you're at a place that you don't think you can pay somebody to do a better job than you can at that stage in your career, I think you go ahead and call the plays. And some coaches do it different. I think in the NFL, you got a lot of head coaches call plays, defense and offense. Brandon Staley calls the defense for the Chargers. Sean McVay calls it. Kevin O'Connell calls it. Mike Shanahan calls it. It's more, or Kyle Shanahan, excuse me. It's more popular at that level because there's less motivation. You don't have to motivate NFL players. They're motivated by money. They're motivated by contracts. At the college level, motivation and culture is way more important because you're motivating 18 to 22-year-olds. So I think at some point in my career, I'll probably take a step back and become the CEO and be involved in defense, special teams more. But right now I've got all my hands in the pie of offense and quarterback play and calling the plays. So that's just where we're at right now. And we'll see how it evolves as my career grows.
As a broadcaster growing up, I had a producer always talking in my ear, and it was amazing sometimes the tone that was used in that earpiece. Tell me about what it's like to be on a headset at Gardner-Webb, and what kind of chatter would I hear back and forth between you and your assistant coaches?
Yeah, I'm generally pretty calm during the week. I'm pretty laid back, but on Saturday I become very competitive, and I will certainly raise my voice and lose my mind a little bit. I've been better as the year goes on. App State, I lost it like 6 times during the game. We shanked a punt. I lost it on the special teams coach. We, missed a block. I lose it on the O-line coach. I've got to sit back and be a little more reserved on game day so that I can give us the best chance to be successful. Kids are going to make mistakes. They're not doing it on purpose. And I think if you can stay reserved and keep the confidence up, it gives you a greater chance to win in the fourth quarter. And I've gotten better through my career. This is only my 3rd season as a head coach. So I've certainly gotten better at that, of maturing on game day.
Your wife, Carter, is at home after a tough game. Does she get on you about how you may act on the sidelines or what you might say in a post-game interview?
Well, a lot of times I get home and she gets very frustrated because I talk to her like I'm running a staff meeting or a team meeting. And she's like, "You're not the coach here. You can stop talking to me like that." I'm being, "Hey, here's what we want, X, Y, Z. Here's the demands, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "No, that's not how this works at home. Don't bring your work home." So she's really good about it. We're complete opposites. I'm type A, all over the place, organized, 100 miles an hour, energy, all that good stuff. And she's very laid back, kind of flies by the seat of her pants. So we fit each other really well. When I get home, it's more about the kids and try to leave football out of it.
Well, football will definitely be center plate coming up Saturday afternoon. It's Mercer and Gardner-Webb in the FCS playoffs. What's the game plan for the Bulldogs to go down to Mercer and to come back with the win?
Yeah, we're going to have to air the football out a little bit. The weather's going to be good. They're really good at stopping the run. They load the box. They're very disciplined in the box. They play blocks very well on the defensive line and at linebacker. So we need to really pick on their secondary. We're going to throw it deep 10 to 15 times. If you hit on 4 of those, that's 28 points right there, So we're going to be aggressive in our play calling offensively. Defensively, they have 2 fantastic receivers. So we're going to have a great plan to play some roll coverage and double those guys on 3rd down. It's hard to double 2 receivers, but we're going to have to try to find a way to do it. We've got to rush the passer, as always, and special teams are going to play a big piece. Turnover margin's huge this week. They're really good at taking the ball away, And to be honest with you, we've been very poor. I think we're ranked 102 in the country in turnover margin. So that tells me we got a really good team. If we're still 7 wins with minus in the turnover margin, we're talented. That tells me that. So I'm excited for the challenge. I haven't been back down there since I worked there in 2017. So it's going to be an exciting atmosphere, and I can't wait to see it.
Ought to be a lot of fun to watch it. Tre Lamb, the head coach of Gardner-Webb, running Bulldog football with us here on the North Carolina Sports Network. Good luck to you and the team. We hope to have you back on the show soon.
All right. I appreciate it.